Will the clerk please call the roll?
Miss Ash McPherson.
Here.
Mr. Bailey.
Here.
Mr. Bendet.
Here.
Mr. Burns.
Here.
Mr. Casal.
Here.
Ms. Doran.
Present.
Mr. Fiacco. Mr. Fleming.
Here.
Mr. Grant.
Present.
Mr. Grimm.
Here.
Mr. Harrington.
Present.
Ms. Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. Leverage.
Here.
Mr. Patieri.
Here.
Mr. Peter.
Here.
Mr. Tessman. Ms. Sullivan Tita.
Present.
Mr. Wysocki.
Here.
Chairman Stammel.
Here.
17 present.
Invocation by Mr. Grant. May I also ask that we stay standing for a moment of silent prayer after Mr. Grant's invocation in honor of President H.W. Bush, the 41st President of the United States. Mr. Grant.
Merciful God, who sent your messengers, the prophets, to preach repentance and prepare the way of our salvation, give us grace to heed their warnings and forsake our sins. We greet with joy the coming of Jesus Christ, our Redeemer, who lives and reigns with you and the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Mr. Grimm.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call the special notice?
Special meeting notice pursuant to Rule Number 1C of the Rules of the Rensselaer County Legislature and in accordance with the New York State Open Meeting Law, Section 104. A special meeting of the Rensselaer County Legislature will be held on Monday, December 3rd, 2018 at 6 p.m. The purpose of this meeting is to act upon the proposed 2019 Rensselaer County budget and any other legislation filed in accordance with Rule 16C of the Rules of Rensselaer County in the legislative chambers of the Rensselaer County Office Building, 1600 7th Ave, Troy, New York.
Mr. Harrington, please.
Chairman, remove that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the regular meeting of November 13, 2018, and approve the minutes as printed.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. So moved. Okay. Presentation of petitions.
On file.
Communications.
On file.
Report of Commissioners.
On file.
Department reports.
On file.
Reports of standing committees.
On file.
Local laws.
There are none tonight.
Index of resolutions.
G5-1218, resolution amending the 2019 Rensselaer County tentative budget, introduced by Chairman Stammel.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Is that all of you?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Can you show of hands, please?
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
What do you got?
G514.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on.
She's got to read that.
Okay.
17, 12, and 5. I've got, is that with the abstention? No. I've got 11 ayes, 5 noes, and 1 abstention. Ms. Hoffman.
Any questions? Okay. G51318.
G51318, resolution to adopt a budget for the County of Rensselaer for the fiscal year beginning on January 1st, 2019, introduced by Chairman Stammel.
All in favor? No. Oh, roll call. Oh, roll.
Ms. Ash McPherson?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bendet?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Casal?
Yes.
Ms. Doran?
I'd like to explain my vote. I will be voting in the affirmative, but there are a couple of items that I just wanted to mention. The minority of the legislature is not in favor of unprecedented raises in the offices of the county executive, central services, and budget. We believe it's inappropriate at this time as collective bargaining is occurring with 3 or 4 unions. And one other comment I'd like to make, I'd like to see in the future that legislative board salaries are reported as actual salaries in the name of transparency. A number of these are not actual salaries, they're inflated. So hopefully in the future that can be rectified. But I am voting yes.
Mr. Fleming?
Yes.
Mr. Grant?
Aye.
Mr. Grimm?
If I may, I would like to add also to what Legislator Doran had mentioned earlier, the proposals that we had put ahead on budget response. There are several more of these that, in the past, I'm happy to say that, come to fruition down the road. I hope they'll be considered. They weren't immediately considered, but they will in the future. And feel the same way with the unprecedented raises, especially at a time when, we're signing contracts where raises are, quite different from that. But I would also like to compliment our department heads. I mean, this is a responsible budget. I mean, as noted by the auditor, that the tax levy remains, with no increase this year. I said that's good news for the residents of Rensselaer County. So I'd like to congratulate the department heads for the work that they've done on this, and I'm voting yes. Thank you.
Mr. Harrington?
Aye.
Ms. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Leveridge?
Yes.
Mr. Patiri?
Yes.
Mr. Peter?
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Tita? Mr. Wysocki?
Yes.
Chairman Stammel?
Yes, in regards to the raises that are in question, I can only say that in the cases that were mentioned is that we've brought some more professional, the county exec has brought more professional people on staff, and with the ability and the professionalism that they have, warrant some of that cost, and they'll only help the county more in the long run. I vote yes as well.
17 ayes.
G 51418.
G 51418, resolution for appropriations to conduct Rensselaer County government for fiscal year beginning on January 1st, 2019, introduced by Chairman Stammel.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
17 ayes.
To go to legislature. I would just say that before we leave tonight, out at the on the door of the out in the lobby out there, we have there's a Christmas tree out there, as well as on the door there is some requests from children for gifts, the needy. We're supporting 2 groups, the Things of My Very Own and Unity House. And if any of the legislators or department heads would like to take one of those cards and support one of the children in our community, then please feel free to take one. We only ask that if you do take a card or 2, make a copy of it and give it to the county clerk so that we have it on record, and therefore if it gets lost, we know who to go for, and put the original card on the gift when they send it. Other than that, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion made, seconded. All in favor? Aye. So moved. Thank you, everybody.